So he says that once he was just looking after the, you can say, the fabrics, clothes. So most likely he would be like from the family of merchants maybe, or some of his maybe relatives would be merchant. So he would spend whole night looking after the, you can say, in the warehouse. Okay, so he mentions some story. So he says that once I was just sitting, and he says I was Sobi. Sobi means kid. Okay, something about 8 to 10 years old. And he was just looking after in the warehouse. And then he says, suddenly I've heard voice of someone coming. You know, from outside. And he's kid. He says that he was yet kid. And then he says that someone started turning on and off them keys in the lock. Okay, and then I've heard voices as if someone would be trying to break the lock and to break into the house, you know. And then he says, and the next thing I remember is, I woke up in the morning when my father came, okay, after sunrise, and he did wake me up. That's what he remembers. So it means he felt unconscious. Okay, so maybe from here we can understand that he was not from very, very rich family. Because the people, the kids in the rich families, they will not be doing these kind of jobs. Did you understand? So from here we can understand that he was maybe average or even below average family. And if you just go to look into the biography of the scholars, there could be only 1 or 2 scholars who are from rich background, rich family. And the rest of the scholars, all of them will be from very poor families. Can you give me a name of any scholar that you know? Except Ibn Hazm. Ibn Hazm was from very, very rich family. Anyone besides him is from very poor family.
Ibn al-Qayyim.
Ibn al-Qayyim, okay. Ibn al-Qayyim, he's also from lower than average family, because his father used to be the supervisor of the madrasa. Okay, and the supervisor of the madrasa will not be very rich, average or underneath of average family, you can say. Abu Hanifa, first of all, he was in his childhood, he was not very rich, but he would be trading. Okay, and when he did turn towards the knowledge, actually he did have money, but he wasn't doing anything with it, but he would just give it as mudaraba. Maybe he's also another exemption. Okay, so you will find only 1 or 2 exemptions, but mainly scholars and awliya, they will be from very, very poor families. Okay, so we know so many scholars who would be eating, do you know the leftover things after the people, do you know? I will not mention their names, but there are so many of them. Okay, and somehow that's how Allah basically distributed the world. If you remember, Ali radiallahu anhu says, very famous poem in which he says, رَضِينَا بِقِسْمَةِ الْجَبَّارِ فِينَا لَنَا عِلْمٌ وَلِلْجُحَّالِ مَالُ. Do you remember? Very famous in the Diwan of Ali. So he says, we are very pleased by decree of God upon us. لَنَا عِلْمٌ, for us, knowledge, وَلِلْجُحَّالِ مَالُ, but for ignorant people, wealth. Did you understand? So to combine between knowledge and wealth is very, very rare thing. So if you find some scholar in our time who is very, very rich, so first thing you should think that he doesn't have solid knowledge. Why? Because when you have a money, so you don't have to go to commit sin. Even the permissible halal things will be, you can say, bothering you from the knowledge. For example, you will be traveling here, there every year to Hajj, Umrah, etc. So if you are traveling on, for example, to Umrah and Hajj on yearly basis, then when are you going to revise your knowledge? Knowledge is not like a stone which if you put into your pocket, it stays there. But it is like a snow. When you put it there, if you do not look after it, it gets melted, you know. Okay, so that's what knowledge is. So that's why when you find any rich scholar, then you should think that definitely his knowledge is not solid, except very few exemptions maybe. Anyway, so, and also about Najmuddin Kubra, he had two journeys during his lifetime. The first journey was to look for knowledge, fiqh and hadith. Okay, as you know, he is Shafi'i, Ash'ari and great muhaddith. Okay, in the first journey, he went to many cities of Iraq and Iran, such as Asbahan and Nisapur and Hamadan and etc. Even he went to Mecca, and on his way back, he went through Karbala, which is Kufa and Baghdad. Okay, so when he left his city, Kharazm, in his childhood, looking for knowledge, he came back after that being great scholar of fiqh and hadith. You know, after that, normally, when you study, when you get to some level of knowledge, then you will start feeling hunger. It happens with each single person who studies for a long time. Okay, so it is the same as you are scratching your back, you know, but you feel that it's not enough. But you feel that you need to scratch inside, underneath of your skin. And what you are doing now is not enough for you, you know? So that type of feeling. Okay, it happens with each single person. And for example, Sheikh Ramadan, why did he go to Australia, for example? It's one of these reasons, you know? So there will be some stage, some level, in which a man of knowledge, it doesn't matter how great scholar he is, he will start feeling hunger for some different thing. Emptiness, it's empty. And he will start looking to fill that. And unfortunately, most of us, people, students of knowledge and people of knowledge, they fall into the black magic and ta'weez and that type of jinnat thing, you know. Thinking that that is the empty thing which is you are missing. Because there's something about unseen, you know, jinnat will go to bring some certain message, etc. Do you understand what I mean? Okay? But after some time, the people who are involved into that, they will be very sorry. Okay? So it is, you can say, there is very high risk of that type of people falling into the kufr also. Anyway, so Najmuddin Kubra radiallahu anhu, after becoming scholar, Shaykh al-Hadith as well as Faqih, he started feeling the emptiness. Then he went to his second journey. Okay? And when he went to his second journey, he was over 25 years old. So by the age of 25, he was great muhaddith and faqih. Okay? So something about 27 years old. Who knows about Imam Ghazali? When Imam Ghazali went to his second journey, how old he was? Imam Ghazali was 39 years old. And it took 10 years. So at the age of 49, he came back being great wali. Okay? And with Najmuddin Kubra radiallahu anhu, it was slightly before. Something about 27 to 28 years. Okay, so then he left Kharazm again. Okay, and you know, it's just, I can feel it on myself. It's very great jihad to leave your name. If you understand what I mean. So Najmuddin Kubra in that time, he would be Shaykh al-Hadith, Amirul Mu'min al-Hadith, as well as one of the few greatest scholars. To leave everything, it's not easy. So it's only the truthworthy people can do it. So Najmuddin Kubra radiallahu anhu left everything, the wealth and fame, everything, to start everything from zero. Because in Suluk, he was zero in that time. So then what did he do? He went to the Ahwaz. Ahwaz, it is Tustur. Do you remember? It is the place I called just between Kuwait and Iraq, but it is in the territory of Iran, Ahwaz. Okay, so yet there are Arabic-speaking people are living. So he went there to look for his Sheikh Ismail al-Qasri, who was one of the most famous aqtab of his time. Okay, so he went there, and then he spent some certain time. So after spending some certain time, Najmuddin Kubra radiallahu anhu says that Shaitan started playing with me. Okay, Shaitan started playing with me, and he was just underneath, you can say just beneath 30 years old, maybe 29 years old. So what Shaitan said? Shaitan said, oh, look, you are a great scholar of hadith and great scholar of fiqh, and look at Ismail Qasri, your sheikh. He doesn't have your knowledge, he is less than what you have, So then, do you think that he can benefit you? Okay, so then Najmuddin Kubra says that once, after a couple of days, my sheikh looked at me and said, you are not going to gain anything from me after what you have said. But Najmuddin Kubra didn't say anything. Okay, but they say, as you know, when you are sitting with a scholar, then watch your tongue. But when you are sitting next to the wali, then watch your heart. Okay, so even if Najmuddin Kubra didn't say, but he thought about it, Shaitan played. So then he said, go to Ammar bin Yasir. So then, from Ahwaz, from, you can say, Gulf, he sent Najmuddin Kubra towards Armenia. Okay, Armenia, do you know Armenia? It's still Armenia. So towards that side, where there was one of the awliya whose name was Ammar bin Yasir. Sheikh Ammar bin Yasir was actually settled. Okay, and Ammar bin Yasir actually took you can say, the turn of giving tarbiyah to Sheikh Najmuddin Kubra radiallahu. There is very scary thing. From here we can understand that it is very easy to change the shuyukh from one to the other. I say it is impossible. Because Sheikh Ammar bin Yasir and Sheikh Ismail Qasri, they were very huge awliya, so that's why it was possible. Or otherwise, theoretically, in Tasawwuf, it's impossible. Why? Because they say Murid is the embryon, it is a semen in the tummy of his Shaykh. When miscarriage happens or abortion will happen, it's impossible to put it back into the womb. Did you understand? So we say Najmuddin Kubra radiallahu anhu, and we have only few others who did succeed even after having miscarriage. Okay, but because of the strength of Sheikh Ismail Qasri and Sheikh Ammar bin Yasir, or otherwise it wouldn't be possible. So once when they did have a miscarriage on you, now don't try. You are dead. You could go to paradise, inshallah, you could be forgiven, but in terms of wilaya, it's just locked. No way. Did you understand? Yeah, so now it is very sad information or news maybe to some of the brothers and sisters who are sitting here, who made bay'ah to one sheikh and then they are moving easily to the other. Okay, means your way is locked. You could be pious person, not committing sin, doing tahajjud, ibadat, etc. You will be just average Muslim. But in terms of wilaya, it's not your way. Because they did have abortion on you, or miscarriage. Now it's just finished. Okay?